Hi everybody, hope you're doing marvellously well. I'm here with Dusty Wakeman. How are you?
Hello, Warren. Welcome.
Well, thank you. And Colin Leibich, how are you, my friend?
Good. How are you, sir?
Good. It's good to be here for the first time. Now, this is the Mojave World Headquarters.
World Headquarters.
World
yes.
Headquarters.
Yes.
World HQ.
Why don't you just take us around? I mean, you've got some new products. Well, they're new to me, that I want you to tell me about.
Yep.
What is it called? The one we were just looking at?
MA37.
Yeah, I want to know about that.
We talk at the same time sometimes.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
MA1000 has been around a while, but it's a hell of a mic.
Okay, good. Let's do a little tour.
Come on in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Here we go. Oh, look, there's people here to introduce you to.
Small but mighty. This is Big John Nuss. He's our chief tech here. He's over here fixing something. What are you fixing,
I think
John?
he's putting together an MA37. Look at
Oh,
that.
yeah. He's putting an MA37
For a
together.
customer who's eagerly awaiting their new microphone.
So this is our latest mic, but this is David's take on the Sony C37A,
Nice.
modern version of it. And we're just having a blast. People are loving this mic. It's a different mic for us because all of our other mics are more German style, do everything, desert island mics. And this is not that. This is like a vibe, special tone. So I like to tell people this is kind of like halfway between our other mics and ribbon mics. It's kind of warmer, darker, mushier in a lovely way.
And it does sound great on just about anything. I want to throw that in there because if you go to our website, you can hear all sorts of cool videos we did
Great.
with different instruments, which I think you'll do too.
No, I really want to try one out, so hopefully I can leave with one to try.
Yeah, anxious for you to get your hands on this because it's a little something different for us.
Definitely.
But we're having a blast. We're loving it.
And it looks super cool.
It does look cool.
It was a very successful launch. I mean, the inventory we had just kind of flew out the door in no
Congrats.
time at all. Very good.
Yeah, we're on our second production run now, and we just now getting to the reviewers because we just didn't have them.
Yeah.
Great.
They went out too fast, so you got to love that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So why don't you just take us down the line? Show us what you've got.
Yeah, so MA37 is our latest. Here's David, by the way, David Royer. He's the man, the myth, the legend.
Testing an MA1000.
Yeah, this is an MA1000, and that's David's take on a 251.
Right.
Now, one of the cool things about David is not only is he a brilliant designer, but he tests every microphone before it goes out the door, and he signs a little card and lets you know he checked it out personally. We kind of like that. I think it's great, and the customers
like
it
that.
too.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen when our dynamic comes out and we start selling large numbers. We may have to skip the dynamic.
Right. So when's the dynamic coming out?
Hopefully by NAMM.
Yeah.
It's in production now.
Yeah.
You want to see one?
I do.
I'll grab one. This is the MAD. This badge here will actually be purple, but we don't have them yet. That was actually our friends at Sweetwater's suggestion. Why don't you make all the dynamic mics have a purple badge? Because the tube mics have a red badge and the solid state mics have a black badge. So it's like, let's have a
Somewhere in
different color.
between, yeah.
So it's actually deep purple.
Ooh.
Figured there's some good mojo there.
Very nice. So am I allowed to ask you what the characteristic would be like?
It's much smoother. We call this the smooth alternative.
Right.
Much flatter than most of the dynamics out there.
Right. So
Not a big honking presence pink.
not a 3 to 5K or
Yeah,
like a
because
57.
there's 1,000 of those if
Right.
that's what you need.
Yeah.
David is not a big fan of dynamic microphones. I've been trying to get a dynamic out of him for years, and his comment was, why would you want to use one of those when you could use a condenser or a ribbon?
Right.
And the answer is it's called live.
It's a good
So
one for
it's
live.
taken a while to find a capsule that David would sign off on.
Right.
So this is much more hi-fi, more lows, more highs, and flatter. There's a nice gentle bump, like a 3 dB rise in the upper mid-range, but it's not like the SM57 hit you in the face thing.
I've recorded with them. They're a lot of fun.
It sounds lovely.
What are they going to retail at?
160.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. That'll be out hopefully by NAMM, in production now, the MAD.
All right, next.
Let's see, what else do we got?
What else we got?
This is the MA50, and you're leaving with one of these because you're going to give it away. This is our starter Mojave. This is my first Mojave. We're big transformer nuts around here, so this is interesting because it's our only transformerless microphone. But this was born out of my disdain for the Neumann TLM-103, which is they sell boatloads of, and people buy them because they say Neumann, but they don't sound very good. So I asked David, what can we do to make a transformerless mic that sounds good? So you want to comment on that, David?
Well, short answer to that I figured, okay, I've done transformerless condenser mics in the past that sound good. So I figured, okay, I'll design a circuit from the ground up. And the circuit I used basically has two field effect transistors running as source followers, one driving pin 2 and the other one driving pin 3. And then I came up with a very simple but novel arrangement to split the output of the mic capsule to drive the two field effect transistors in opposite phase.
Bottom line is this mic costs half as much as a TLM 103 and sounds twice as good. It sounds amazing. Maybe not quite the, on a kick drum, you might notice a difference from our other mics that all have big transformers. But other than that, it's a great place to start.
And what's the retail on it?
It's $5.99 MAP.
Great.
So a lot of fun with this. For all of our mics on our YouTube channel, we have like a nice long video of David talking about what he had in mind.
Okay.
So I'll cut him off there because if you want the long form,
We'll put a link
have
below.
that.
Here are the two field effect transistors that I'm talking about. And the load resistor for the capsule is split into two resistors, and the way I'm doing the polarizing supply, it basically splits the output of the capsule in half with one leg of it out of phase. And then you've got the two field effect transistors and a few resistors and capacitors for filtering, and then the pair of output blocking capacitors, and there you are. It's a very simple, very clean circuit design.
Okay, these are our two other solid state mics. This is the 201 FET and the 301 FET. They're basically the same mic, and all of these use the same capsule. This is a cardioid only, and this is the multi-pattern Big Brother, and has a high-pass filter and a pad.
That works great on my voice.
Yeah, wonderful. And then this one is just the same mic, but a little more versatile.
Yeah.
So one application for this, I call it the poor man's 47 FET. Sounds great on a kick drum.
Yeah.
And with the pad, it'll take it, or a bass amp. But this is really my personal desert island mic. If I had to have, only could have one mic, it would probably be this one because it just does everything.
What are the prices on this?
This one is $800 and this one's $1,000.
Yeah, I love that for me because when I sing, I sound like an English choir boy. Everything.
You have a lovely voice.
Thank you, but it seemed to like bring out some some air and grit in my voice that I didn't know I had.
The 201 is probably one of our most popular mics. It is. It's right up there.
Yep. So same kind of deal here. These are basically the same mic. This is the 200. This is what really put us on the map was the MA200.
Right.
It's cardioid only. And then the MA300 is the multi-pattern version and has a pad and a filter.
So what's the difference between this and it's the FET?
These are tube.
Yeah, these are tube
These are
mics.
both tube.
Oh, so those are both tuned.
Notice the red badge, too.
Right.
Ah, okay.
The other ones are both FETs. This one, basically this is David's take on a U67.
Right.
And as a former studio owner, I was a big U67 fan. I had a beautiful pair. And Eddie Kramer was working at my studio. We had the 67s out as drum room mics. And our friend John from Royer came over with the prototype for this. And Eddie said, well, go toss it up. And the three of us are in there saying, okay, you tell me which one's not a 67. So I was immediately like, I want to play. And that's kind of how I got into this, was the MA200. But
How much are those?
this one is $1,200. This one's $1,500.
Nice.
They
Well
sound
priced.
amazing. This is what really put us on the map. But nowadays, pretty much they're even in terms of sales. I'm always pushing people like, if you're going to get it, get the 300 because it's just more
Yeah, get
versatile.
the options.
And one thing that it has is the power supply. The pattern selector is continuously variable.
Yeah, you can get amazing sounds out of the variable.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So you can
Control.
dial it in. So you're not limited to just the three common ones. You can go a little hypercardioid or open it up a little bit.
Yeah, great for room mics if you just want to get what's coming front and back.
Yeah.
And figure it
I
out.
find for vocals, like right about there, just gives it a little more focus.
Okay.
I've
It's
found.
a great studio mic when someone's purchasing one mic and they were needed to do a bunch of things. 300 really delivers.
And this is the MA1000. This is David's take on a Telefunken 251,
And it kicks
which for you
ass.
kids that don't know is pretty much the holy grail of vintage mics, at least price-wise.
Yeah.
Beautiful sounding mic. So we love this. And this one is $3,000. And
Good
we win
price.
lots of shootouts against the Bach and the Telefunken USA.
Well, and
For
this
a lot
mic,
less money.
the fact it's entered into shootouts with mics that cost $8,000 plus, it just says something for the mic.
I mean, what's the 251 now?
35.
25 grand?
Now they're up to 35.
Are they? Yeah, you keep
And
track of this
47s
stuff.
are up there too. So yeah, if you don't have 35K, buy this one.
Yeah, or you get a stereo pair.
Yeah.
Even better. So it uses the same power supply as the MA300, so it's also continuously variable. This mic comes with the Slingshot, which we licensed from our friends over at Royer Labs, which is really an amazing shock mount. I think these things go for about $300 if you buy them
Yep.
on their own. But it comes with one. Really great. They spent a lot of time on R&D on this thing. This is parachute cable, so it won't wear out. It's nylon. And these things work very well. In fact, we're just ordering another batch, right, Big John?
Wonderful.
And it also comes with a premium cable. This is a Canary cable with Neutrik connectors. We alternate between Mogami and Canary for the high-end mics.
Great. I'm looking behind you. So the MA37, that power supply is quite different.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We didn't talk about that. We talked about the mic.
We haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, and that's the power supply.
When we designed all the other mics just kind of evolved over the years.
Right, right,
And being colorblind, I'm probably not the best person that's why they were all just black.
right.
And then somebody pointed out along the way that your mics are a little bit difficult to differentiate. They all kind of look alike. I'm like, well, I can tell them apart, but nobody
No,
else
I do
can.
like these new colors actually.
And when we looked at the MA37, you know, I actually have a Sony C37 we kind of looked at and prototyped against. And of course, it had this wonderful retro style power supply. So why not recreate it and make something that delivers?
Colin brought to the party an actual industrial designer for the MA1000 when we
Yeah.
did that. We were so happy with the results of that. So for this one, we took an MA1000, gave him a picture of an MA1000
Yeah.
and a Sony C37A and said, mush them together.
Right. Yeah, see what you can come up
And he
with.
sent back a 12-page document with, here's option A, option B, option C. And we said, well, we like this from A and this from C. And
Nice.
we put them together and we're so happy.
Well, and everybody unanimously looks at the mic and goes, wow, what a great looking mic.
I noticed it on the
And,
shelf when I came in. Yeah.
David and I were kind of laughing at when I first became involved with the company. One of the first things I said in that meeting was, I'd love to do something with a Sony C37, make an MA37. And David, of course, says, well, I have the design for it in my desk.
had it for 10
You
years.
had it for 10 years. And, well, now it's in our hands. It's a real microphone. And I just think it's brilliant.
Tell me, what does this do?
That's flat, that's rolls off at 100, and that rolls off at 200.
Nice.
Yeah. Very kind of similar to the original.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Sony went through a couple of different versions of the power supply, but this is mainly taken from the first one, right, David?
Yeah.
Correct.
Right. What was that model number? Let's see if we can stump David.
CP2.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Can't stump David.
The old CP2.
Yeah. So anyway, we're really happy with this. I think it came out great. It looks like a Mojave, but it's reminiscent of the Sony.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
that's kind of what we were.
Well, and at the price point, I think it's a really high quality mic, well designed and durable. Yeah, that's what we're going for.
Well, get me one as soon as possible so I can try it out.
You're leaving with one today.
Okay,
There
good.
you go. See?
There you go.
We can't afford to give that one away.
No.
We'll work up to that.
We only have loaners right now.
Right.
All right, now
Sorry.
don't forget, by the way, that with C37As, they have very low output. The output is down, basically comparable to a Royer R121 ribbon mic. And Sony designed it that way deliberately. The quoted sensitivity with the C37A is like 6 decibels lower than what we spec for ours. But I don't know what happened to your C37A, Colin, because it's the most sensitive one I've ever measured.
It's like me.
It's Colin's very sensitive. Well, at this point, they're all, 60 years old, so they tend
Yeah.
to vary pretty wildly.
Well, and is that a good thing that it's sensitive? Or?
It's kind of a head scratcher,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering if they got the spacing between the diaphragm and the backplate with your particular capsule a lot closer than is usual. Because the voltages are where they should be with your mic, and with that cathode follower, you can't change the gain of it.
Yeah.
Because the gain is about 0.9, and you'd have to basically reduce the plate supply voltage to nothing to get it to change.
There's a prototype SF24V that
I've tried
David
that
built,
mic.
the gold one.
That's
That
amazing.
used to be hanging at the old shop. And
Yeah.
that before I got involved with Mojave, when I was just
It
an
was never
endorser.
made.
No, they make a 24V. Do they still
okay.
make it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, then we have a prototype MA300 stereo mic.
that's
That's
right.
amazing. I've recorded a lot of strings on it.
But we don't want to talk about that because
No.
we don't want to tease people.
No,
'Cause they can't
why
get
not?
It. They can't get
They can
it.
tease them. Who cares?
Yeah.
So anything else you want to show us?
I think that's
We cover all the
about
bases?
it for now. We're working on our kind of pro version of an SM7 that we hope to have out by the end of the year.
A broadcast
that you
mic.
won't need a little extra box for.
Don't talk about that.
Right.
Let the other ones keep doing what they
Okay. The MAB Pro.
broadcast,
The broadcast professional.
do. Uh-huh.
That will do
Sexy
well.
looking mic. You
Yeah.
can't show it to you yet, but it's cool.
That's a popular microphone to be
Yeah.
selling.
I mean, we're a couple of years late, but then it's never too late. So
Oh, but we're innovating.
Right.
We'll educate the market.
coming up with mic designs is not a problem. Mic designs we have. It's figuring out what's next is always the challenge.
Indeed.
Fantastic. Well, thanks ever so much.
Thank you,
appreciate
Warren,
it.
for coming
Thank you for
to
coming.
the
you.
world headquarters.
Always welcome.
Good to see you. You can enter to win an MA50 below. There's also another video where we do a performance with it and we mix a song, and you can download the multi-tracks, so don't forget to check that out.